appeared in Wuhan city of China. On December 31, 2019, China reported that a mysterious respiratory illness was unknown in Wuhan, Hubei province. An unknown type of virus was estimated to be caused by lung inflammation. On January 1, the seafood food market in Wuhan, which was determined to be visited by those who first caught the disease, was closed. It was found that the genetic structure of the virus that caused the disease on January 3 was 80% similar to the coronavirus that caused SARS spread from China in 2002-2003. New type of coronavirus. On January 7, the World Health Organization (WHO) announced that the disease was not SARS but was caused by a new type of coronavirus. The new type of coronavirus, which is the mutated form of a beta coronavirus in bats, was called 2019 nCoV. On January 11, a person died from the disease for the first time in China. The deceased was a 61-year-old man who was estimated to have coronavirus while shopping from the market in Wuhan. On January 13, the first case outside China was seen. A new type of coronavirus was detected in a female patient in Thailand. On January 16, a new type of coronavirus was detected in a person from Wuhan, Japan. On January 21, the first COVID-19 case was seen in the USA. Global emergency. The virus has spread to many countries through traveling passengers. People with new types of coronavirus were treated in Hong Kong, Taiwan, Singapore, South Korea, Australia, Malaysia, Vietnam and Nepal. On the 23rd of January, all transportation to the city of Wuhan was stopped and quarantine measures started to be implemented. On January 24, the first cases appeared in Europe. A new type of coronavirus was detected in 2 people from France and one of their relatives in France. On January 30, WHO declared a global emergency. On the 31st of January, the first cases were seen in England, Italy and Spain. On February 2, a person died in the Philippines for the first time outside of China. The 9th of February, new type of coronavirus and death toll 811 reached. Salgandaki loss of life number of SARS outpacing. The 11th of February WHO, new type of coronavirus, COVID-19 name was given has announced. The 14th of February African continent the first case seen. In Egypt a person has a new type of coronavirus were detected. In France, new type of coronavirus and lost their lives people, the European continent human resources deaths was. South Korea, Iran, and in Italy outbreaks. On February 19, the first cases and casualties occurred in Iran. On February 22, 229 cases were seen in South Korea in one day. It was stated that the spread in the congregation of a Catholic Christian church in the city of Daegu, in the south of the country, played a role in the epidemic. On February 25, COVID-19 was reported in Iran. Deputy Minister of Health, Arek Herici. On February 26, the first case in the South American continent was seen in Brazil, from a businessman returning from travel from Italy. First death in the USA. On February 27, Saudi Arabia suspended Umrah visits due to COVID-19. On the 28th of February, WHO announced that they have increased the global risk level for COVID-19 from high to very high. On February 29, the first death from a new type of coronavirus occurred in the USA. The number of cases in Italy increased 6 times in the first 6 days of March. On March 8, the Lombardy region and 14 cities, where the outbreak spread, were quarantined. On March 10, Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte declared comprehensive quarantine measures, limiting free movement in the country. While primary and secondary schools and universities were on holiday, all sports competitions including the first football league Serie A were stopped. The first case in Turkey. The 11th of March earlier in the Ministry of Health has announced that the first case is seen in Turkey. WHO has declared the new type coronavirus pandemic global epidemic. US President Donald Trump has announced that they have closed the borders for 30 days to all passengers from Europe, except Britain. March 12, primary and secondary schools in Turkey was interrupted education in universities. On March 13, in the USA, President Trump declared a national emergency across the country due to the epidemic, announcing that the $50 billion fund from the federal budget will be transferred to states and regions. On March 17, the European Union (EU) imposed a 30-day temporary restraint on third country nationals' travel to member states and the Schengen area. While restricting free movement throughout the country in France, comprehensive quarantine measures were introduced. It was reported that for the first time in China, the epidemic occurred on March 19. There were no new domestic cases. March 21, comprehensive quarantine measures began to be implemented in Turkey. Quarantine measures were introduced in the UK on the 23rd of March. Olympics postponed on the 24th of March. The International Olympic Committee (IOC) decided to postpone the 2020 Tokyo Olympics next year. On March 25, 21 curfews were declared in India. The number of COVID-19 cases in the US on March 26 surpassed China. The country has become the most frequent location. On March 27, the U.S. Congress approved the $2.2 trillion economic stimulus package to help individuals and businesses suffering from the epidemic. This was the largest economic aid package in the country's history. British Prime Minister got sick the same day. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced that the COVID-19 test was positive. On April 2, COVID-19 cases exceeded the million worldwide. 3 On April 30, metropolitan banned in Turkey and Zonguldak to the inputs and outputs for 15 days. April 7, new deaths were not found for the first time in China was reported. On the same day, quarantine was removed in the city of Wuhan, where an outbreak occurred during my love hours. COVID-19 cases exceeded 1.5 million worldwide on April 8. The new type of coronavirus, COVID-19, emerging in China has spread to nearly 200 countries and regions around the world and has turned into a pandemic, global epidemic. The virus has been infected by many people until now. Nearly 1,000 people lost their lives due to the virus. Over 1.5 million